Oh, we're live! We're live! How you going, Danish, Tel, Baral, AJ? I've just got a little partner with me here. This is my granddaughter. I'm 50 years of age. She's 2 years of age. And I'm doing a little bit of babysitting. So, Ali,
say hello.
Do you want to go and do some weights or go and throw a ball? All right. Say see you to everyone. See you guys. All right. Off she goes. Okay. Just thought I'd introduce one of my family members. It's just great being a granddad. I can't believe that I'm a granddad. But anyway, let's move on. What changes do both teams need to make today to better themselves for the World T20 World Cup later on in the year? So let's roll the bumper and get stuck into this Hoggs vlog live. Rohanan, Danish, Sharadri, Rohanan, AJ, how you going, guys? Thanks very much for joining me again. So let's get right into it, and so I can get my points out before we get into the thing that I love, your questions. Now, who will Rohit replace in the 11 today? For me, I think they've got to stick with Ishan Kishan. He's young, he's explosive, he's got a good strike rate, he takes on the quick bowlers as well as the spin department as well. And he takes the pressure off Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. As we heard Virat Kohli in the press conference last time, Ishan Kishan took the pressure off him and it made it easier. Rahul's out of form. So we did a bit of a poll earlier on or over the last day, who would open or should open with Rahul, and you guys all agree with me. So Ishan Kishan, this is his opportunity to take, and he's got 2 games at least to take the opening spot away from Darwin and Rahul and make it his own. And I'm loving this lively Indian team. I think after this T20 World Cup this year, they should make a few more changes and add a bit of depth with youth here, because the youth in IPL cricket are taking this game to a new level. They're actually taking Indian cricket to a new level as well in all formats. So Indian cricket is going to be the powerhouse over the next decade. Okay, let's go on to the next point that I've got. Spinners change their pace. Now, if we look at some of the comments that Roy made over the last day, this is what you've got to be doing as a spinner. Looking out comments that batsmen are making in the media. Roy is stating that he's getting in a more power position. He's waiting for the ball and trying to hit through the line of the ball. He's looking for pace on the ball. But he also knows that Chahal is looking to bowl those wider options, those leg spinners, taking the ball away from him. And he's improving his reverse sweep. He's lining him up for that particular shot. When Chahal went straighter to Roy last game, he went quicker instead of slower. Pace off every now and then is very good, just to bamboozle the batsman's timing and his swing through. Because if you're just getting quicker and quicker and quicker, you're bowling into the batsman's strength. Also, if you look at the wickets that both spinners, Sundar and Chahal, have taken through this tournament, it's been with the slower ball, not the quicker ball. Chahal in the first game absolutely bamboozled Butler, and the last game, Roy was done by the slower pace from Sundar. So that's what those 2 particular bowlers can add to their armoury. It's going to be a little bit more of a turning wicket today, so they might bowl more majority quicker deliveries, but still add that slower ball into your repertoire, just so that the England batsman can't line you up. Okay. Next topic, what have we got? England pace or Moeen Ali? Now, this is a thing that is a little bit of a concern for England at the moment. What balance of the team do they go in? They've got Stokes, who's a genuine all-rounder. The first game, the 3-pronged pace attack in Wood, Jordan and Archer absolutely blew the Indian batsmen away. So they've got to find a way to get those 3 players in, as well as Moeen Ali. So I'd go with Moeen Ali, Rashid, Wood, Archer, as well as Jordan with the extra pace, and you can have Stokes with the medium pace. I don't see the point in them having Sam Curran coming in at number 8. If your top 6 aren't doing the job for your team and you're relying on your number 8 to get runs, well, you're behind the 8 ball. Sam Curran's not lively with the ball. Yes, he had a dominant over in the last game opening the bowling, but is he going to open the bowling every game? Pace on as well as spin is a good match with Stokes to come in. I think they should go with those options. And also, you've got to bring Moeen Ali in to bowl to the likes of Kishan and Pant. Those two particular players are the most explosive players in this Indian batting lineup, and they can take the game away from England off their own bat, as Kishan did in the last game, and Pant has done it in Test match cricket over the last 2.5 months or 3 months in Australia and that England Test series. Those two need a matchup of Moeen Ali because their weakness is right arm off spin. They don't have a good strike rate against it, and they have a low average against right arm off spin. And so that's something that England have got to look out moving forward. Okay, they're my 3 points for the day. So let's get into the questions. I'm looking forward to this. And cock lovers, how you going? I can't believe I put that in there. Who has a handle like that? Cock lovers, come on, we can't say that on Hoggs Vlog. Yes, we can, because it's not a commercialised TV. I love some of these handles that come out. This is the second one that's got me in a lot of trouble over the last couple of days. So thanks very much to whoever whose handle this is. Going to find out after this, aren't we, Shubs? Shubs is the person in the background helping me out. So anyway, KL Rahul, another chance because he can handle India's second opener for upcoming T20 World Cup. Look, I think KL Rahul is going to have to sit in the background. I think Rohit Sharma is going to come in with Kishan. You need that explosive batting with a genuine frontline opener like Rohit Sharma. I think Kishan is going to take the pressure off Rohit to score quickly and to up the ante. And just with that variance in both styles of batting, I think the bowlers will have to change their line and lengths quite regularly, and it will just slightly put them off the mark. And I think Rohit Sharma will be able to capitalise on that and get his strike rate up to an acceptable level at T20 cricket in this time or this era that we're playing in right now, because the game is fastened up. You want to score quickly, and that's something that Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul and Darwin have to improve on if they want to stay in this team. So for me, Kishan has to bat, and Rahul is in the back line. And I don't think, I think if there's a young Indian batsman who dominates opening the batting in this IPL, I think Rahul and Darwin could be just about playing their last games of T20 cricket for India, because the game's moving on. But I know we all love KL Rahul, but as we've seen before, change of personnel, there's always a new hero, and Pant's becoming a hero, Iyer's becoming a hero, and all of a sudden Kishan's becoming a hero. So, cock lovers, I can't see Rahul getting another chance this series. All right, next question. Ratan Chowdhury, how are you going, Ratan? 5 bowler, including Hardik, can cost some days, so extra bowler is key. Ratan, I absolutely agree with you. The only, especially when you've got Washington Sundar who can handle the bat as well. Takur can handle the bat as well, but is Takur going to be a frontline bowler in your T20 World Cup? If he's not, he's going to you're not going to have that strength in your batting depth. And the other thing with Takur is his fielding. He's not as agile as the other fielders, and there are moments in this T20 series that he has let a single turn into a boundary because he's not athletic enough low to the ground. So that's something that India are going to look out moving forward as well. So yeah, for me, I don't like Hardik being a frontline bowler. He hasn't done it enough to go leading into this T20 World Cup. If he was a frontline bowler for the Mumbai Indians in the next IPL before the T20 World Cup, then you would look at that option. But while we're playing right now, I think it's good, especially on Indian conditions, to give him a go and put him under pressure to bowl those four overs. So for me, have him as a fifth bowler because he's very good bowling into these slower tracks. He's got good variation with his pace. He's got good variation with his off cutters and leg cutters as well. So he's got the variety there. Let's just see if he can gain some experience here and do the job. So while we're playing in this T20 series, have him as the fifth bowler, but I don't like it moving forward in Western conditions. We've got to find another bowler, especially in the pace department, that can bat for India moving forward. Someone like a Jordan that can wield the willow out the end. Ratan, I like your question there. It's a good question. You can go both ways, but you don't want Hardik under pressure to have him bolt 4 overs. If someone gets a hold of him, the game could flow away from India very quickly. Okay, Shubs, next question. Tanay Chandra, how are you, Tanay? Hope everyone's having a good morning too, and namaste to everyone over there in India. I was going to do that at the start, but as we get along, people start joining as they realise that, or they get that notification that I've gone live. So namaste to everyone in India. Thank you very much for following me. What do you think, is it a problem for India having so many options and rotating each player, which makes instability in team? I think so. Look, there's a lot of instability in both England and India at the moment. England just trying to find out their matchups with the bowling department. India just trying to find the right combination in their batting department. Boomer is going to come in with their bowling department. I think they've got their bowling department structured, but the likes of Rahul, Darwin, Kohli and Rohit Sharma out the top of the order, with the way that T20 cricket is played now, England have taken it to a new level. You've got to be more aggressive out the top. And if these particular players can't adapt, then you've got to bring some youth in. So for me, I like the fact that you've brought Kishan in. He can be aggressive out the top. If you lose him early, then Kohli and Rohit Sharma can take the reins for the next couple of overs, stabilise the innings and try and take the pressure off the lower order. But the lower order with India, I like it as it is now because they're very aggressive. They take on the opposition bowling. And as we saw with I the other night, when under pressure, they can stand up. So it's really good balance with Kishan coming in, opening the batting. If he comes off, gets a quick 550 in that power play, all of a sudden it takes the pressure off that lower order. But every now and then that top order is going to fail and the lower order have to stand up. So they've got to get consistency in this batting lineup so that the batsmen get used to their roles and get used to playing under different types of pressure. Pressure when the momentum's in their favour and they've got to keep it going. Pressure when they're behind the 8 ball because they've lost early wickets. I still think with this lineup, actually looking at this question, I still think Kishan would be better at number 3 and Virat Kohli opening the batting. If you look at Virat Kohli's numbers in the power play, he's got a better strike rate than in those middle overs. That's where he slows down a bit. So that's another option that India could look at as well. And Kohli's got the technique to take on those fast bowlers as well and just use the timing to get his strike rate up. Very good question, Tanay. All right. Oh, Kunal Purohit. Thanks very much for joining me, and you've got the super question there that goes ahead of everyone else because there's a bit of a paywall there. So thanks very much for getting on board. Kunal, I believe Team India should have at least 3-4 T20 special players in team. Love you, Hoggy. Thanks very much, Kunal. If you look at India, they've got specialist white ball players in there. Australia have got specialist white ball players in there, but I wouldn't have Australia as an example at the moment because they're not playing that well. New Zealand do as well. I think you can. I think someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav should be in this team. Batting in 3 or 4, you've got Iyer in the team as well, batting up there. Pant, there's a number of specialists there. Well, Pant's not really a specialist. Pant is a white ball specialist in a way, and he plays that white ball game in Test cricket, which is good to have in that format. But I totally agree with you. You've got to have white ball specialists in your lineup, and if you look at England, they have Roy out the top of the order. They have Butler, who keeps every now and then for England in the Test arena, but those two are specialist T20 players. That's why they come and play the IPL. Morgan's a specialist T20 player, and Milan. That's why they're so dominant in that format, because these players train specifically for this format of the game. And then you've got Jordan with his bowling. So they're training specifically for the game. If you've got 4 or 5 core players in your team and you bring in the other players in from the test arena, you've got better balance. So I totally agree with you. You've got to have at least 4 players of a specialist nature in T20 cricket. And for me, that would be Kishan, Iyer at the moment. I think Washington Sundar is more of a T20 specialist than a test player. So you've got to find another couple, or Hardik Pandya is another one as well. So you've got a couple there, but I still think you need one more. So I think you need another specialist T20 player in that top 5. So let's see who we can find. We also need another T20 specialist bowler as well to help Boomer out down that lower order. Very good question. Very good question, Kana. I went all over the shop with that one. Sorry about that, guys. But it's such an interesting question. I'm just trying to think of all the players that can play T20 cricket for India. There's so many out there. There's so much talent. And there's so much talent in all forms of the game. So it's pretty hard to find the specialist for each format as well. Abhishek S. Who do you think will be removed when Boomer comes back? I think it will be Thakur that's removed. I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar is starting to find his straps. Yes, he's not bowling as quick as he was before, but the thing is, his subtle variations are really bamboozling the English batsman, especially when he's got the new ball. He's prepared to bowl different slower balls in the power play, and a lot of fast bowlers aren't prepared to do that because they've only got a limited amount of protection through that time. That shows me that he's on top of his game in his mind, as well as his skill set. He knows that he can execute it. The only thing that he needs right now for Booby to be another frontline bowler for India moving forward for the T20 World Cup is just to get another extra yard of pace. And once his body gets a little bit stronger and he's feeling more confident with his body after coming back from injury, we'll see that. India are looking so good for this T20 World Cup, the way they played against England the other night. Okay, good question there, Abhishek. Adrocious, how are you, mate? Thanks very much for getting online, and you're from the USA. How are we going, everyone from the USA? And I've said this before on the vlogs, there's a lot of following of cricket over in the USA. It's the second biggest viewer or the audience of cricket in the world. So thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much for your support of cricket. Is it curtains for Darwin's international career? It's curtains for Darwin's T20 career right now with the way that Kishan batted the other night. Is it curtains for his 50-over format? I'm not sure. I still think India will give him another opportunity, but Kishan is nipping out his heels. He's only got limited opportunities in the 50-over format, but T20 cricket, see you later, Mr. Darwin. He's had a wonderful career, but the game has moved on, and you need that more aggressive player, as I've said before earlier on in this broadcast. And question B, how does a fan like me get your autographed items? Okay, all right. During the IPL this year, we are going to throw out some memorabilia pieces for each week. But the only thing that we've got to do is find out how we can mail it to you, because there's a few items that I've had come overseas that have been taking 3 months to get here. So we're working on that right now. So we're going to have some memorabilia pieces for the best questions, best statements through the IPL. Everyone that's joining me live on Hoggs Vlog. Okay, so we'll get some autographed items out there. Actually, just make sure you get backstage as well, and we'll have a quick chat about that too. Or Drocious, I better get my manager onto that as well. Okay, keep Shubs, keep that question behind, please, because we've got to really up the ante on those autographed items. Okay, next question. Tamroy Chakraborty, how are you? I hope that medical school's going well, because there's a little bit of illness over there in India tonight. There's no one able to go to the game tonight because of the coronavirus. So we need people from the medical college to get on top of this virus over there so that we can get crowds back. How are you, mate? I'm going very well. My question: will dropping KL after 2 matches make the others insecure? No, it won't. You've got to remember that it's a tough business, cricket. And when your opportunity, you go in and take it. Now, these players that are in the lineup now, Kishan, he's only new. He's fresh. He's got nothing to lose. So he's going to take that opportunity and just play with freedom. You've got Iyer as well as Pant. With the way that those two have played over the last couple of months, they'll feel very secure in the team. Hardik Pandya, well, he's always secure in the team because of his all-round ability. So those particular players aren't going to feel the pinch because they know they've got longevity in this Indian lineup. Also, the culture that has been built in this Indian lineup, I see so much cohesiveness. The other night when Kishan was dominating, I saw Darwin sort of worried or knew that his spot was over, but and knew that this young kid was coming through and going to take his spot, but he still went up and encouraged him. And that is a sign of a genuine team, a team that's got a strong culture, a team that is there for Indian cricket. He knows he's had a good run. He knows that he hasn't performed, but he can't just sit there and sulk. He's got to encourage these younger players. So I don't think there's any insecurity in these particular members. I just think they know their place, they know their role, and I think it's been communicated well from Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli with the roles that they have to play. And if they play to those roles and what's expected of them, there's nothing to be insecure about. Okay, so I don't think KL Rahul missing 2 matches is going to make the others insecure. I think KL Rahul at the moment is just a little bit flustered because he knows that he's had those opportunities and he hasn't taken it, and it's him that has put him in this position that's allowed other members of the Indian squad to take an opportunity opening the batting. It's nothing else, nothing against him personally. It's just that he hasn't stood up over the last couple of months with his form to make sure he's cemented that spot. So, Tanmoy, that's a very good question. Very deep thinking. Bit of psychological thought there as well. Okay, next question, Shubs. Vasant Narain. Hello, Vasant. Should Surya play out 3 and be given a chance to see how he performs? And should an extra bowler be introduced instead of Iyer? No, I think Surya Kumar should bat down the order as is now. I think Hardik Pandya should be given another opportunity as a frontline bowler, because when you get into that T20 World Cup, you want to know that you've got different options to be able to go into a match. You want to know that Hardik Pandya can stand up and deliver with 4 overs that he has to bowl under pressure in that format. So right now, yes, you want to beat England in the series, but you also want to strategize and experiment to make sure that you've got different setups and different makeups of your team to be able to change and match up with various opposition that you're going to come up with the T20 World Cup as well. You've got to be adaptable. Surya Kumar Yadav, for him to play in this Indian team, he's going to have to bat behind Iyer. He's going to have to be a player like Hardik Pandya to come in the final overs where there's 4 overs to go and try and find the boundaries from ball 1 or ball 2. He won't have much time to get used to the conditions. You need players to play that role specifically, and I wouldn't be wasting him up out number 3 at the moment. Get him in that role down the lower order. He's good enough to do it. He's flamboyant enough to play that role, and I won't say that. Confident is the word. I was going to use another word. He's confident enough to play that role down the lower order, and if he's told that his main role is to come in the last 4 overs, he will deliver for you. I've played with Surya Kumar Yadav. Wonderful bloke. It's about communication with him, and that gives him confidence to go out and deliver. And that's why he's been so good at Mumbai Indians, because the Mumbai Indians have communicated the role to him that he has to play probably a lot clearer than what we did at Kolkata Knight Riders, because he's playing in various batting positions there. Very good question there, Vasant. Like that question. Okay, Shubs, let's get to the next question. Star Black, how are you going, Star Black? How are you, mate? I am feeling great. It's another beautiful day here in Western Australia, and it's a wonderful day because we've got a T20 game over in India tonight against England, the two best teams in this format battling it out. Would the team batting first lose again tonight? Well, this is a good thing about this particular series. Teams have to learn to have a strategy to be able to defend scores. And we're seeing that with T20 cricket at the moment. We're seeing a bit of a pattern where teams batting first generally don't have the upper hand. So they're either being too aggressive at the start and losing early wickets and not getting enough score, or not getting a big enough score on the board, or they're not summing up the conditions early enough and look at a score that is par on that particular wicket, which you should always be able to do. Look, the first couple of overs, yes, be aggressive with the opening batters out there, out in the middle. Take a few chances, but if the wicket is not conducive to be as aggressive, or the wicket is conducive to be even more ultra aggressive, well, you've got to sum it up early. You can't waste too many balls and adapt by the third over. If you don't adapt by the third over, that's where you're going to get blown out. But for me, I'll be sitting there going, right, on any wicket, the bowling lineup that we've got can defend a certain total. We've got to make sure we get to that total or above more than 75% of the time when we bat first, to try and take the pressure off the bowlers. That's how we did it at the Perth Scorchers, and that's why we were successful. And we always loved bowling second and trying to defend a total. So you've got to have that mindset, and the bowlers have got to have the belief that you can defend it. So this series, it's got to bring out the best of the bowlers, and I think the team that can start defending totals is going to be the favourite going into the T20 World Cup. Okay, guys, thanks very much for joining me. That's enough of my my stuff today, but we've got a very big game tonight. It's the third game between India and England in the T20 format. There's going to be no crowd, so hopefully they can still play with that sheer energy and entertain us to full effect tonight. Let's go and enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow for a wrap-up of tonight's game. Good luck to everyone. Stay safe. Love you all. Thanks for joining me.